Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Moonlight King with another episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews of Playmakers Episode 2, The Piss Man Cometh. The episode isn't called Piss Man Cometh, I think it's just called The Piss Man, but hell, that's what's going on here on this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. So, let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. So yeah, y'all, the piss man cometh, and in this episode, DH man, DH is in trouble because the last episode showed anything. Man, DH got a problem. Oh, buddy, DH got a bit of a problem. Omar Gooding's character, he got an issue. He can't get enough of them drugs, man. He gotta, as he calls it, the grip, man. He gotta get the grip, man. And he needs his regular fix, or else, well, he just can't. Well, he's addicted. Well, he can't function without it, and it's kind of a theme. Like, I can't, in this episode of, I can't quite function at full capacity without some help. Another character, I still don't know what his name is. I don't know what anybody's name is, man. Like, the main, the dude, there's a bunch of main characters in the show, but this episode is focused mainly on how people function with help. Like, people can't function without help. There's a guy who's all banged up, he's injured, and he can't function. He can't even, as he puts it, he can't even walk without taking pills. Another guy who feels like he's lost a step and he can't function to the level he used to without taking some pills. That's how he figures. And DH can't function without taking drugs. Can't function to the level he's supposed to without taking drugs. So yeah, and I think it's kind of cold that in this episode the one guy isn't functioning, like, who doesn't take drugs to get ahead, is the one guy who gets cut. He's also on this thing of like, damn, I can't function like I used. I'm not functioning like I used to. And then he's the one who gets cut. But yeah. So DH is in trouble because the piss man's coming. They take the urine sample and everything. Football teams do this all the time. A lot of sports do this, where they test their players, the random tests, as a way to make sure that everybody's clean, everybody's playing fair, no one has an unfair advantage over any other team, stuff like that. And it happens. So he's really worried because, according to him, it takes 72 hours for cocaine to make its way out of your system. And he just hit up like the day before in that opening narration. Like, so yeah, he's definitely screwed. He's definitely going to get busted. He's definitely going to be guilty. So, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? He's got to think of something. They have someone right there. Like, when you pee in the cup in like pro football, you have to pee right in front of them. They need to see you urinate because they know all the tricks, man. People be coming up with crazy ways to avoid this, and somehow DH, it's he's got to find a way to get out of this. It's a theme of the whole thing. It's his arc throughout this episode. It's like, oh man, the piss man's coming. He's gonna test me. He tries everything. He talks to the main owner. The owner asks him like, "Are you clean?" He's like, yeah, man, everything's good. So he's like, well, good. I hope it is, because I can't bail you out if you're not. In the previous episode, it showed like the power of the owner, the power of being a playmaker, is that you can get bailed out of risky situations. Except this is the one situation where it doesn't matter who you know. It doesn't matter who the owner is. You're not getting out of it. If you test positive, you're busted. So yeah, so he tries the owner, doesn't work. He tries to call his agent, and he's like, nah, man, you got to take this piss test. There's no way around it, If you're not clean, you're going to get busted, and you're going to be out of the game, and that'll be it. So it's like, well, you're not out of the game. Out of the game, but you're suspended. Yeah, you're suspended for X amount of weeks X amount of games without play, without pay. And yeah, you'll be back. But given that some of the players don't have guaranteed contracts, not everyone's contract ends on the same day, not everyone has the same contract. It's a thing of like, if you get suspended for X amount of games, you might not have a job coming back. Hell, you might not have a job in the middle of your suspension. So it's a big thing. It's like you cannot afford to fail this test. You cannot afford to get busted by the piss man. That's why people are more afraid of the piss man than the coach. Yeah, the piss man. Yeah, like, because you can like, I don't know, reason with and finesse the coach or the doc or all those people, but you ain't finessing no piss man. Like, so this is, yeah. And there's a lot of tension in this episode because you're worried, like, the dude who feels like he's lost a step when he's coming back from injury, you're worried that he's gonna get busted because he took he took something so he can like get back in shape because he feels like, damn, he's not hitting the same strides that he used to. So he took something so he can match up with DH. And yeah, even though he did, it's not the same. Even though he took that stuff, he's like, hey, I'm feeling it kick in. Yo, DH, let's have a weightlifting contest here now, first to 18. And he doesn't get it. Like, even with the stuff, even though he's feeling good, it doesn't matter. He still gets freaking, DH still beats him. And it's like, damn, what did I do this for? And now he's under the microscope because this dude that who was supposed to get tested, he wound up getting cut from the team, and now there's an open slot. Like, oh no, it could be anybody. Anybody could be tested. Like before, I was okay because the piss man only tests two people at a time, and I knew I wasn't one of them. But now, shit, I might be. And oh no, I got this stuff in my stream. I'm gonna get busted. I'm gonna get suspended. It's oh man, my whole life's gonna go up in smoke because I've created this clean cut family man image that I'm always honest. I do the right thing. And if I get busted for drugs, not drugs, but like, yeah, if I get busted for like, if for a piss test, that's gonna undermine all that. That's gonna undo all that. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely there's more to football than football. That's what this show is doing. It's showcasing like, hey, there's a lot more to football than football. What goes on, we rarely see what goes on the field. We'll see clips, like highlights and moments from like we'll see what happens after a game, but the actual game itself we don't see. We focus on what happens before, what happens after. What happens during is kind of at this stage, it's not what matters right now. Who the footballer is before he steps on the field, who he is after the fact, and that's what matters. Like we see this bald dude from previous episode. He had all the stuff with his dad. He paralyzed the dude. He goes back to visit the guy, and he sees the dude's kid. And the dude's kid says, my coach tells me only dirty players lead with their helmet. It's like, because when you tackle somebody, it's supposed to be a shoulder tackle. Your shoulder is hitting them, not your head. So they do that so you don't get hurt and shit. And he watches it back like nah, man, coach told me it was a clean hit, docs told me it was a clean hit, I didn't tackle with my helmet. So he watches the damn tape back again and again and again. It's like, was that kid right? Like at the same time, I want to say it was a clean hit, but like this kid wouldn't. I mean, I don't want to say that to a little kid. So he watches it again and it's like, oh damn, it's not a clean hit. I really did hit this dude helmet first. I paralyzed this poor man. Like, I don't think he did it intentionally. I don't know if he did it intentionally, but like it sure looks it the fact that he did it, the fact that he did hit the dude helmet first kind of shows like, damn, I really did paralyze this man, and it is totally my fault. This man was not, it's 100% my fault that he's there. And it seemed as if he was making progress. It seemed for a moment like this character was making progress in terms of like his therapy and whatever, because he was like, you know what, I don't need to go to therapy anymore. I'm making progress on my own. I'm back on the field. My doubts are gone. Whatever concern I had over what my dad did and how that may have impacted me is starting to fade. That's I don't need to go to therapy. And then the stuff with this kid happens, and he watches that tape, and he's like, damn, I might need I definitely need help. I don't just need to go back to therapy. I need real help, man. Those antidepressants you were talking about, like, give them to me, man. I need it. Speaking of I need it, there's another guy, the guy I mentioned earlier, who needs to take pills to walk. Doc tries telling him, like, hey, man, these pills you're taking, yeah, they're helping with your pain, but they might be doing some damage to your kidneys. Now, mind you, you can still play, but I don't suggest that you do because, kidney damage is no laughing matter. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty serious thing. Granted, this stuff isn't illegal. It's not like, piss man will pop you for that or anything. It's a legit anti-inflammatory. But like the fact that, it's messing with his kidneys, it's like, it's cause for concern. Tries to bring it to the coach. Like man, like, he needs like serious rest. He needs serious time off of this stuff and off playing. Like, yeah, he'll get that. But, he'll get that in the off season. I'm not going to bench our freaking quarterback. Are you nuts? It shows how everybody is under pressure. Everybody is on some kind of strain. Everyone is being influenced by outside forces of sorts. Like there's factors at play that you can't control, whether it's a coach and his like I think he's got a kidney problem or a stomach problem of some kind, whether it's you know DH and his addiction. Like you can't control an addiction. Once it's got you, it's got you. You can try as hard as you can to get rid of it. Like, but you're never truly free. It's like a constant battle, so I've heard. And just the other guy with his feeling of like he's being replaced. The idea that he is being replaced by a DH, he's not the man he used to be. Like you gotta, it's like he has no control over that. Like he tries it, and people in this episode try as best as they can to overcome these forces, and some succeed, some don't. Like, well, some in this episode just luck out, and others like they just will it not to happen. They do everything they can. They go above and beyond to ensure that these forces don't come out on top. Like DH per se, because DH he takes he goes through extraordinary means. Like he actually has clean urine injected into him. Not injected, but it's like they use this catheter tube. Yeah, it's to insert clean urine into him so that when he takes the piss test, it'll come out clean. So yeah, that's that. And he has this moment where he's sitting there after the urine test. He's like, "You want to tell him you beat him. You want to like tell him to his face that like you like ha motherfucker, I beat your damn piss test. I don't have to follow the rules like you do. Like you chump. Like you think you can take me down? Like hell no." He even says early in the episode when he's talking to the agent, "Man, like piss man can't hold my jock." It's like, man, the piss man can shut you down faster than anything. Like if that little tape. The thing is, the owner in the previous episode, like they showed dude a tape of the debaucherous stuff he did, and like they tore up the tape and they were like, man, that's just you clean up your act, like it's just a warning. It's like, yeah, even if that stuff had gotten out, the league could somewhat protect you from that. The league ain't protecting you from the piss man, dude. There's no reframing that. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no waiting for the heat to die down. If you test positive for drugs, test positive for anything, that's it. That's your ass. That's your ass. It's just it paints this terrible picture, man. Ask John Jones. Ask any UFC. Ask a UFC fighter. Ask boxers. Ask if you test positive. Ask WWE superstars, man. They'll tell you. If you test positive, it creates for something, and you get suspended. There's a stigma around that shit, man. You don't even have to test positive for steroids. If you test positive for anything, there's a huge stigma about you, man. Like if you had to juice up to get ahead. You're a cheater. You didn't make the cut. You didn't put in the work like everyone else. There's a huge stigma that follows you for stuff like that. You know, WWE had something like that. This signature pharmaceutical scandal where a bunch of superstars got tested and hey got busted. Edge, Mr. Kennedy, I think. Because you want to see who's busted. Look at pictures of WWE superstars in 2006. Then look at pictures of them in 2009. You'll see a visible difference, and that's how you know. Oh, he was on it. He was on it. He was on it. You'll know exactly who was on that shit. Oh, you really want to have a laugh? Look at pictures of Triple H from look at pictures of Triple H from then and now. And then you'll be like, oh damn. But then again, he never got busted for anything. So, okay, here's an interesting story. Scott Steiner, when he was in WWE, was asked to do a drug test, and he said, "Okay, I'll do a drug test if Triple H will do it with me. Yeah, we got to do it together. If we both do a drug test, then I'll gladly do a drug test. Yeah, I'll gladly submit myself to a drug test if Triple H does one with me." They never again asked him to do a drug test. Just let that sink in. Let that sink in. I'm not saying Triple H was on something, but Steiner was like, I'll do a test if he does one. And they never asked him to do one. So, just saying. And later there was a podcast where like CM Punk was like he said like Triple H he was talking about like the piss test, like he had to give a piss test and he was mad about that. So it is weird asking the straight edge superstar to do a drug test. It's like what are you doing? So like Triple H tried to convince him like, well, Batista had to take that same drug test, and CM Punk was like, did you? And Triple H was just like, he had nothing to say. Yeah. Whatever, man, whatever. But yeah, it shows like the sport of football there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we are usually not aware of. And I appreciate how this show covers them. And the acting in this show has been pretty good so far. You really see the desperation on a lot of these people's faces. Like, man, I need this. I need this to work out because this sport is all I got. You know, like it's all there is for me. I need to take these pills so I'm not in pain anymore and I can be fit enough to get back on the field. I need to take these pills so I can be fit enough to match up to my peer and get back on the field. I need to get this grip so that I'm not like suffering from withdrawal and shit and I can get on the field and perform as I usually do. And like just need is a real it's a real desire. Like getting on that field is like your whole life has to do with being on that field. You know, I need to do this so I can get on that field and function accordingly. I need to put whatever PTSD I have behind me so I can get back there and do what I do best, you know? So I can make peace with what I did in the past, some shit like that. It's very, like, every episode kind of has its own theme to it, you know? It's very much a thing. And this show so far is really good. I'm enjoying it, man. Like it's got, I don't even watch football. That's how I'm enjoying this show, man. I don't even watch football. I don't even watch football at all. I've never had the desire to watch this shit. But the fact that I can watch this, man, the fact that I can sit here and watch Playmakers and enjoy what goes on. The closest thing I've come to watching football, I've said in previous episodes, is watching Ballers with like The Rock and everything. To see, and that was about sports management, not the sports. So to see this show, I mean, it's something. Yeah. Well, there's not much to say. You know, it's been a hell of an episode. This has been another episode of Fill in the Mode, I guess. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all them nice things to see more episodes of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. Not Fill in the Mode. It's Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. As we review the show Playmakers. This has been the review of episode 2, The Piss Man Cometh. And y'all, I've been your Moonlight King. Peace out.
I stay loose, I stay hype. I stay loose, I stay hype. I stay loose, I stay hype. I could do this all night, cause I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, sip is right. And I go with the flow. Yeah, I go with the flow. Yeah, I go with the flow. Cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go. In the zone, here